Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm very excited for. We are going to be doing a deep dive into Notion. Ever since I created my Notion tour several months ago, I've gotten a lot of comments and questions, people requesting templates for my Notion pages. I thought it'd be very helpful and also just really fun to do like a deep dive tutorial in Notion. The first section is going to be favorite features. So basically little tips, hacks, my favorite elements to use in Notion, things that I find myself using a lot or that I feel like have really improved my Notion since I discovered them, and show you how to actually build them from scratch. So we're going to be talking about databases, template buttons, widgets, page customization. We're going to be going in depth on a lot of the things that have really allowed me to make my Notion a lot more functional as well as aesthetically pleasing. I'll be showing you guys some more basic things as well as some more advanced elements and features. This second part of this video is going to be me showing you guys the free templates that I created and just like a quick look at what you can download with the links in the description. So we'll get into the details of that at the end of the video, how you can use them, but let's go ahead and get into it. I tried making a drip coffee for the first time and it was so problematic. Like it did not go well at all. It's not horrible, and I'm genuinely shocked that it's not horrible because the bag fell in the cup, so there's literally like beans at the bottom. A little bit chaotic, but we're making it work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into part one of this video, which is my favorite features. The first thing that I want to show you guys is extremely basic, but it is style customization. It is a very small way to make your Notion fit your personal aesthetic more. The way that you customize a page style is by going to these three dots in the upper right corner, and here you can select different font styles as well as these small text and full width options, and these can make a pretty big difference in the feeling of your page. So for this daily planning page, I currently have this serif font, but I do also like the default font, which is just this more clean sans serif. And then there's also this mono option, which has like a very typewriter type vibe. I know a lot of people love this font style. It's a little much for me. And then you have these options. So small text basically just reduces the text size of your entire page. This page does have small text on it, but if I click that off, you can see immediately the heading gets so much bigger. And I find that small text can help a page feel a little bit more minimal, simplified. Then there's also this full width option. I like to use this on pages that have multiple columns or just anything where I need to see all the info at once. So this is how this page would look with full width. I'm not a huge fan of this just because I feel like it makes it a lot harder to process what's written here. But to give you an example, this 2023 goals page has 3 columns, so I do have it full width just so I can see everything more at once. If I were to toggle that off, like you can see here, it's just like a lot harder to read and it doesn't work as well for this page. So that's definitely something that I think it depends on the page. Another feature that I really love is databases. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a new page just to show you how to actually set up a database. Let's say, for example, you were creating a page to plan out your Instagram content. To set up a database, you're going to go ahead and click the slash icon, which is what you use to do anything in Notion. And then you get this entire list of basically all the things that you can add, which I find very helpful just to explore this and kind of see new things that I can try out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a new inline database. You wanna make sure that you do not click any of these views, so table view, board view, gallery view, because that's going to create just another view of an existing database. So that's not how you create a new database. It's a little confusing, but basically once you've created a database, you can just add multiple views of that thing. Right now, it's immediately defaulting to the table view, which in my opinion is not how I would organize content. So I'm gonna go ahead and click edit view, and then you can switch your layout. So I'm going to go to the board database because that's my personal favorite. So now we have a board database. Quick little hack for how to make your databases look a little bit better. It can get kind of cluttered with the title of the page, and then you have the title of your view, and then you have the title of the database. So something that I like to do, a little hack, is I'll go into rename and I'll just give it a space in the name section so that it doesn't have to say board view anymore. And then I will also go ahead and switch out this icon, which is something I recently discovered you can do. So for example, I'll put the sparkles there, and I just think that looks a lot better. Okay, let's go ahead and name this database. Let's call it Instagram Content Planner. So I'm gonna go ahead and immediately hide the no tags column, and we're gonna go ahead and start a new group. Now there's many approaches you can take to this. The way I like to do it is I use the group for the month or the week or whatever. So let's say you were planning out May, June, and July. You could also obviously use this for categories of content, Instagram stories versus Instagram posts versus IGTV videos. Is that even a thing anymore, IGTV? Actually, let's go ahead and do Instagram shorts. So when you add a new element to the database, you're basically creating a new page. The way that I like to use this for like a content planning situation is using each page for like a post. So let's say you have an Instagram story planned. Let's say you have a Chamberlain coffee sponsorship. You would go ahead and create that new page. Now let's go ahead and actually enter into that page and see the things you can do. So you can add a property, and this is one of my favorite things about this whole database system. I think this is really cool. So let's go ahead and put a select property. This is basically where you're going to be able to choose from different options. So let's create a select property that says sponsored ? Basically meaning, is the video sponsored or not? Then you can click on this empty section and create new options for you to select. So for example, we could have an option that just says not sponsored and click enter to create that. And then we can create an option that says sponsored. Click create sponsored. And then you can go over to these 3 dots on the right and customize the colors of these as well to whatever you want them to be. There's also a ton of different types of properties that you can add, whether that's a number property, like for example, how many seconds. So let's say you wanted to make your story 30 seconds, you could put that there. And for any number in Notion, you can go over to this 1, 2, 3 option and you can choose to make it a percent or a monetary value. Let's say you really wanted the sponsored, non-sponsored property to show right on the database. Sorry, I just choked on a granola bar. You can just go back to your database, click on these 3 dots and go to this menu and simply drag the sponsored property up into the shown in board section, and then you can see that right from the main page. Another thing that's really cool is for each page you can create a template. So let's click this create a template button, and let's say that this was the new post template. Post description. To turn that into a heading, we're just gonna highlight it, click on these dots over here, and then go to turn into let's make it into a heading 3. So then you could, go ahead and put bullet points in using the bulleted list option. Let's go ahead and put a spot for to-do list. So we can go ahead and click / to-do and create a little to-do list. So this would be your new post template. Every time you create a page in this database, you can just click new post template and that'll automatically populate into the page. So you automatically have that there. You can also add dates, which is a property that I really like to use. Let's say this Instagram story is being posted on the 15th. You can go ahead and add that date there. We're gonna go back here to make the property visible. I'm gonna use this to segue into something else that I really wanna show you guys, which is the calendar view of a database. We can basically create a new view for that same exact database that we already created. So let's select the data source as the Instagram content planner, which is the board view we just created. And we're going to go ahead and do a new view as a calendar. What's really cool is that it's automatically going to populate with the information you already entered. So the post that we said was going to be published on May 15th is already here, ready to rock in the calendar view. Let's go ahead and change this to serif, small text, and full width. We're going to quickly customize the icon or the emoji. You can choose from these very simplified icon options, which I believe is a new addition to Notion, or you can just choose an emoji. Let's go with this paperclip emoji that I love. And we're going to go ahead and add a cover image as well. I mentioned this in my Notion tour, but I really like just using the Unsplash images. They're really nice. They're good quality. They're obviously the correct dimensions. I will typically search for coffee aesthetic or something like that. Let's use this photo to show you guys a database in action. This is my content planning page, which you obviously have seen before if you saw my Notion tour, but this is like a filled out database. Under this playlists and series toggle, I have another database. This is what the table view looks like in action. Here I have a status column. This is another type of property that you can add to any database. And when you click on the edit property option, you see that it automatically has different sections. So there's a to-do section, an in progress section, and a complete section. And you can actually add custom options to each of these. And then you can see I have a select property here. And here's an example of a list view database. So I use a list view database for my monthly goals. And basically this is literally just a list. You can have some properties show off to the side. But again, you click on a page, it opens up to the side here. Okay, so that's how to use databases. the next thing I really wanted to show you guys is a template button. So template buttons are something that I like to use for anything that I want to be able to quickly get as a fresh slate. So just to show you guys an example, my weekly planning page is actually a template button that I created. So as you can see down here, when I click new week, it gives me a fresh empty week template. So that's what we're talking about here. How do you add that? Because this was something that took me some time to figure out. So let's go back to this Instagram content page, and I'm gonna create something that I would want to make into a template button. So for this example, we're going to say that you're pitching to brands for sponsorship deals, and you want to have just like a template email type message that you can use continuously, rework for each brand that you're pitching to. So let's write a very generic sort of pitch. Okay, so we created this little pitch that we want to turn into a template. We're gonna go ahead and create a button. So we're just gonna click /button, and we want this button to insert blocks. So we're gonna select that, and let's name this button new pitch. And then we can simply drag and drop this pitch into this little button and click done. And now every time I click new pitch, it's gonna go ahead and have all that text appear. Now where this gets a little trickier is if you want your button to populate multiple columns. So let's say that you don't just want this pitch to pop up, but you also want a little to-do list to appear. We can go ahead and add this, and let's say pitching brands to-do list. Then let's go ahead and do /to-do. Let's go ahead and move this. To create a new column, you literally just drag it to the far end until you see this vertical bar appear. This is a little temperamental because I didn't move over these 4 elements. Let's go ahead and do that. So now we have 2 columns on this page. If we wanted to turn all of this that you see here into a template button, things get a little bit more complicated, because if you just go ahead and, do the whole create a button thing, insert blocks, and then you try and copy and paste all of this into here, it's going to lose the columns. So if you created the button just like that, it's going to get rid of the columns that you created. So to avoid this, what we need to do is actually combine all of this into a page first. So how we're gonna go ahead and do this is just do a little /page to create a new page. Then you're gonna go ahead and drag all of this into that new page. Go ahead and reformat it so that you have the 2 columns that you would like. Then we're gonna go ahead and create a button again, insert blocks. You're gonna go ahead and drag your page into here, click the dots off to the right side, turn into text, and ta-da! Now you have a button that can actually create a template with multiple columns. So that's how to use template buttons. A huge game-changing feature in my opinion, because it allows you to create something once, and then every time you need a just clean, fresh version of that thing you created, you literally can get it in 2 seconds with a template button. So the next thing that I really want to show you guys is indify widgets. First, I'm going to show you how I've implemented these into my own Notion pages, and then I'll show you guys how to do it. So in my daily planning page, this weather feature is an indify widget that I love. I also recently added these widgets to my weekly planning page. As you can see, I have these counter widgets, which I really, really like. Basically just allowing you to keep track of certain things throughout your weeks, months, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's available with indify. So to do this, you actually have to go to indify.co. So it's a separate website from Notion, but it is compatible with Notion. So once you create an account, you'll have all of these different options of widgets you can add. Like I mentioned, I like the weather widget. So you would just click on create widget. Let's say you wanted the title of this widget to be LA weather. You can set the weather location that you want. So obviously I'm going to put Los Angeles here, and you can customize how many days you want it to show. So let's say you only want it to show 3 days, and you can customize the text color. So let's say you wanted all the text to be purple for some reason, as well as the background color. So you need to toggle this set widget background color option, and then you can change the background color to be whatever you want. So let's say you wanted it to be hot pink for reasons I don't understand. I would not recommend that, but let's say you did. So that's what that widget would look like. And then when you want to use the widget, you just go down here to this copy link section, click on this little clipboard, which immediately copies the widget. We would just go ahead and click /embed and then paste the link. Click embed link, and ta-da, there it is. And then you can customize the size of it, drag it around. Indify has a ton of different options, so you can add things like quotes, a life progress bar. This actually terrifies me. Basically, it shows you how far you are into your life. You will never catch me wanting a life progress bar. That feels a little far to me, but you can embed your Google Calendar. You can add a counter, which is what I showed you guys with the plus and minus clock. There's just lots of fun options. So that's a basic introduction to indify widgets. Next thing I really want to show you guys is callouts. This is a very simple element, but something that really upgraded my Notion. So this is something that I used for my weekly planning page. You can see there's these yellow boxes that separate the days, and they're kind of these self-contained little organizational chunks. So creating one of these callouts is very simple. I'll show you guys right here. So let's go ahead and delete Sunday and recreate it from scratch. So we're gonna click /callout. And now we have this little call out box. You can go ahead and title this Sunday, bold that text. Now, if you click enter, it's gonna automatically take you right out of the call out, but there's an easy way to work around this. So let's go ahead and create a heading 3 tag that says scheduled for today, as I have on the other days. And then you can just go ahead and take these dots and literally just drag this text under Sunday. And then every time you click enter from now on, it's gonna still be in that box because it's caught on to the fact that that's what you wanna do. And then when you want something not in the box, you just click outside of it. So in this case, I would just add the to-dos. It's really easy to just copy and paste an element if you want a new heading. And then to customize the call out, it's pretty simple. You just click these dots, click on color, and you can set the background and text color. So in this case, just add a yellow background. You can go ahead and customize this icon with a coffee cup emoji. And that's how I basically created this. And the 4 columns works the same way that I already described columns working. Basically, you just drag things around. And if you want to create a new column, you just have to drag it past the right-hand side until a vertical line appears. And now we have 5 columns here, which is a lot. So let's undo that. Another thing that I want to point out while we're on this page is toggle lists. So toggles are really nice for things that you don't always want to see, but you sometimes want to see. So for example, my back burner to-do list, non-urgent tasks, I have in a little toggle here. Creating this, again, very simple. You just do /toggle, then you have a little toggle list. You would put a title on it like tasks I don't want to do. And then you can go ahead and click on that little arrow. It says empty toggle. You can just go ahead and click there to add something to the toggle. You can add a to-do list, obviously. How the hell do you spell Colorado? Duh, okay. And then when you want to hide that, you can literally just click on the little toggle arrow and it'll go away. Okay, it's 6:30. I'm getting hungry. The daylight is fading. So we're gonna pick this video up tomorrow. Bye. Hello, welcome back. Today I am unveiling the templates that you guys can download in the description. So if you saw my Notion tour, these templates are basically adaptations of the pages that you saw in that tour. I made some tweaks to just kind of make them usable for anyone. And I also did a few upgrades here and there, changed things up a tiny bit. So I'm just gonna show you guys the pages, give you a very quick idea of how you could go about using them. So you can basically choose whether you want to download an individual page or my entire Notion hub, which includes 6 different pages that I turned into templates for you guys. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the hub bundle first. So this includes 3 planning pages, my daily planning page, weekly planning page, and monthly goals page, 2 YouTube or content pages, so my content planning page, as well as my YouTube growth tracker, and then 1 finance page, which is my income stream tracker. So let's go ahead and take a look at what each of these looks like. So first we have the daily planning page. At the top of each of these pages, I have this little tips box, which basically is going to help you guys navigate how to use the page if you're a little confused or just want some tips on how to make it work for you. So this page does include a custom widget, so this Los Angeles weather widget. And in order to customize this to your city, you're gonna have to use indify, which I explained earlier in the tips section, to kind of create your own custom widget. Then this page includes a nice little photo, a spot for today's date, a little reflection check-in, as well as some spots for different to-do lists. There's this spot for daily to-do, which is where you would put your main to-do list tasks for the day. And there's also a quick ticks section, which is where you would put like chores or like smaller tasks that you want to get done throughout the day. And there's also a spot to make sure that you're working towards your monthly goals on your day-to-day. So a little reminder of what your monthly goals are and a space for you to put what you can do to work towards those goals. So that's the daily planning page. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, and pretty much ready to be used as soon as you open it up. Let's go back and go to the weekly planning spread. Again, we have a little section up at the top that goes into detail on how to use this. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of all of that, but basically there's this new week button that basically allows you to create a new week every week. So all of this stuff that you see here, the yellow boxes boxes and such, you're able to refresh every single week. You would enter the week that it is. You can keep track of back burner to-do list tasks. You can put your monthly goals in here so that you can remember to work towards them. And then for every day, you have a section for scheduled for today. So this would be like meetings, appointments, things that you have to do at specific times that you need to remember. Today's workout. So obviously you can get rid of this if working out isn't a priority for you, but this is just to keep track of your workouts if that's something you want to do. There's a section for priority tasks, which would be for your like main to-dos for the day. And then a quick tick section, which is for, again, those like little chore type tasks. And then there's also these two boxes for things you want to get done this week, as well as things you're pushing to next week. There's also this little calendar at the bottom of this spread. So that's how the weekly planning page looks. As you can see, there's definitely an aesthetic that carries through all of these pages. A lot of the banners are images of coffee or plants, and there's a pretty minimal color palette with pops of yellow and blue and green, obviously. Okay. Then we have this monthly goals spread. I added this matcha latte photo at the top. I think it's looking really cute. This obviously looks very empty because, again, I want it to be very easily customizable, but I did include an example month in here so you guys can see what a filled out month kind of looks like, including things like areas of focus, the quote filled in, my goals filled in, and then obviously to customize it, you would insert whatever year it is, and you would go ahead and click this new button to create a new month, and then you're going to go ahead, name the month, obviously. So let's say this was May, and then you could go ahead and click the new month template when you enter the month and customize everything from there. There's also an archive section where you can put the previous year. Once the year ends, you can just drop that whole database into the archive. It's a little toggle so you don't have to look at it all the time. And again, there's some tips for using this spread as well. So those are the planning spreads. And then if we go back to the hub, let's take a quick look at the YouTube templates. So first is the content planning spread. Again, this is very much ready to roll and customize. One thing that I did add for the sake of these templates to make them a little bit more just useful is when you create a new video in this spread, you can select this new video template that I created. So I just created this and I'm really excited about it. Basically, it has sections for brainstorming your titles. So you could like test out different titles, see how many keywords you're using in each of them. You can put your keywords in here when you're doing keyword research. So you can list the keyword, for example, monthly reset, and then you could put the SEO score. So if you do keyword research using an app like TubeBuddy, which is what I personally use, if you want to get started with TubeBuddy, I do have a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so check it out. But you can go ahead and put the TubeBuddy or SEO score here. There's also a section for thumbnail ideas that you brainstorm, as well as B-roll clips that you want to capture. So just extra footage that you might want to capture and want to keep track of making sure that you get. And then there's also a section for the video outline. I have an intro and 3 chapters here, but obviously customize this to the structure of your video based on, you know, is it a sit down video, a vlog? You might want to use this in different ways, but all of this is fully customizable. And if you did want to edit this template, it's really simple. You can just go over to the 3 dots on the right hand side of the new video template, click on edit, and then you can go in here and edit this template as you want. Then there are these 2 toggles. So there's an ideas toggle where you can basically keep a running list of ideas, as well as a playlists and series toggle. And this is also something that I just recently added to my Notion, but it allows you to basically keep track of all of the playlists or just kind of like content categories on your channel and keep track of their status. So are they active? Like, are they a playlist that you're currently adding to? Are they completed, meaning it was a fixed duration playlist that's now done? For example, something like my moving series is obviously done, so that would be completed. Is it inactive, meaning that you're not currently adding to it but might change your mind about that in the future? Or is it deprioritized, meaning it's just not something that you're focusing on as a core part of your channel anymore? And then there's this, is it a content pillar section as well, where you can say, is this core content, meaning it's a core part of your channel, something that really is part of your brand? Is it a limited series, again, like my moving series, something that you were adding to for a certain amount of time but now is done or will be done eventually? Or is it phasing out, like a playlist that maybe you don't have on your channel homepage anymore and maybe you're not very interested in focusing on adding to it? So next we have the YouTube growth tracker. Basically, this is just to track your YouTube analytics month after month. I did include a little example tracker right up here in this toggle so that if if you guys want to see what my tracker looks like, that's all there so you can kind of see how this all works. But basically there's categories for reviews, your subscribers, your AdSense. If you haven't been monetized yet, just delete these columns that say AdSense, payout threshold, affiliate earnings, because obviously those aren't relevant. And then there's this month tag section, which I talked about in my Notion tour, but basically this will allow you to compare, for example, this May to last May. And I explain how you do that in this little box up here. The final page / template that I'm going to be giving to you guys is the income stream tracker. This is basically a way to track your income streams month after month. The biggest thing that will need to be customized for this is this little circle chart if you want to use it. Basically, to customize this, you have to click on the total chart, click on edit property, and then in the ring section, you're going to go ahead and put whatever your sort of yearly income goal is in the divide by section. So my yearly income goal is 60K, but yours might be different. So you just want to put whatever that is there. And that's the main thing that really needs to be customized for this page to work properly. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory. And there's details up in the top box if you don't know what type or status really means. There's explanations there, as well as I talked about this whole income stream tracker setup in my May monthly reset. So you guys can check that out for more details. But yeah, that's the templates that I put together. And honestly, I'm really excited about them. Like I said, all the links will be in the description. And if you do end up using any of these pages, please let me know in the comments because I would be so happy. Let me know if you guys want to see any more Notion related videos from me. I am considering maybe doing something on like how I plan my weeks out. So let me know if that would be of interest. If you did not catch my Notion tour video, I will have it linked somewhere here. And with that, I will see you guys next week with another one. Bye guys.